You ever watch someone walk into a room and know, instantly, the whole place is about to tip sideways? That's how it was the day Merrick Thorne, first female Navy SEAL sniper, the one the headlines love to call America's most dangerous woman, got marched into a military courtroom, shackled at the wrists, eyes cold and steady, the room buzzing with the kind of energy you feel right before a storm hits, you know what I mean? People whispering unstable, a failure, too much, too soon, like she was already guilty, like the outcome was already hanging overhead, just waiting to drop. Even the judge looked at her like he'd made up his mind before she'd sat down. The prosecution started in, painting her as reckless, insubordinate, basically a failed experiment that cost the Navy more than they'd ever admit. They didn't know what she'd really seen out there in Yemen, though. They didn't know why she'd gone off script. She'd disobeyed a direct order. They didn't know what she was protecting, at least not yet. They didn't know how fast everything can turn a courtroom, especially when a four-star general walks in unannounced and the whole mood shifts from smug certainty to pure, electric uncertainty. So picture it. Merrick, chains clinking, sitting with perfect military posture in a uniform stripped of any Glorino ribbons. No insignia, nothing but the fabric and the weight of everybody's eyes. Her lawyer, Lieutenant Calloway, young, nervous, file folders thin enough to make you wonder if he'd even been given the real story. They denied my request for the unredacted mission files again, he whispered, as if the walls weren't listening. Expected, she answered, voice flat, unreadable. That's just how it was stacked deck, the whole game rigged. Judge Advocate General Blackwell banged the gavel and called things to order, his face carved from stone, no hint of mercy. Prosecution laid out their story. Trust, duty, the sacred chain of command. All the right words, twisted in just the right way. They showed maps, played comms recordings, her team leader's orders, her acknowledgement, then silence. They called up her old CO, Reed, who sat there and all but called her broken, said he'd seen warning signs, said she was isolating, asking too many questions, which, funny enough, is usually what you want in a sniper, but not if she's a woman, not if she's Merrick Thorne. They dismissed her record top of her class, best scores anyone's ever seen, 3 successful tours, all just pressure from above. A special project. You could feel the resentment in the air, the old boys club closing ranks, trying to make her an example. During recess, you'd hear the whispers, guess they'll think twice before letting another woman in BUD/S. The kind of thing that if you let under your skin, would eat you alive. But she never let it show. Just that steady, icy stare, like she was cataloging every face, every exit, every possible threat. When they called her team leader, Sullivan, he said all the right things for their side. Yes, she'd abandoned her post. Yes, her actions had left the team exposed. Yes, 2 men got wounded because she wasn't where she was supposed to be. In all my years in special warfare, I've never seen such disregard for the chain of command, he finished, never once meeting her eyes. Calloway tried to punch holes, but the judge shut him down, every objection sustained, every question clipped off. It should have been an end, right? Their jury, all male, all senior officers, looking like they were just waiting for lunch. But sometimes, when a story's headed for a dead end, that's when it turns. As Calloway stood to present the defensive statement about her service, her record, her judgment, the doors burst open. 4 silver stars caught the light. General Ryerson, living legend, not on the witness list, not expected by anyone, walked in and, with a few clipped words, changed the temperature in the room by 20 degrees. I am exercising my authority to declassify elements of Operation Cerberus for this proceeding, he announced. And just like that, half the people were ushered out. What happened next, man? You could feel the tension in your teeth. Ryerson revealed Thorne's mission wasn't what they thought. She wasn't just on Overwatch. She was running a parallel counterintelligence op, placed there by direct order. She was supposed to stop a massacre, but do it without blowing the lid off a conspiracy that went way higher than anyone in that room wanted to admit. He showed the video or scope view, a schoolyard, kids playing, terrorists and American contractors exchanging targeting data. Her original orders? Take out everyone. But she'd gotten superseding orders protect the kids, neutralize the real threats. And she did, with a shot nobody in the room could believe. 2 rounds, 1,800 meters, high crosswind, the sort of thing you'd call impossible until someone like Thorne goes and does it. And then, the twist Ryerson lays out how the injuries that day weren't from enemy fire, but from friendly fire a second team sent in by Reed, her own commanding officer, who tried to silence her because she'd seen too much. Ryerson hands over the comm logs. Reed tries to bolt. MPs block his exit. Sullivan finally stands up to him. "Don't," he says, and it's the first time all day Merrick's face almost cracks. When the shackles come off, she doesn't gloat, just rubs her wrists, stands tall, lets everyone else scramble to recalibrate. Her spotter, called up from the gallery, confirms what Happinge called in the presence of children, waited for higher orders, did everything by the book, and still almost got killed for it. The jury, stunned, comes back with a not guilty faster than anyone expects. The judge, suddenly less certain, bangs the gavel and tells her she's free to go. That's supposed to be the end, right? Happy ending, courtroom justice, villain exposed, hero vindicated. But life doesn't wrap up so neatly. Sullivan apologized. She believed what they told him. The admiral tries to offer up an official apology, but Ryerson cut them off, says what the service really needs is accountability. There's a handshake, a promise to visit wounded teammates. For a minute, you think things are going to settle. But as Merrick walks out into the afternoon sunlight, she asks Ryerson, "What happens to the kids from that village?" He answers UNICEF is there. They're safe. She nods, finally lets herself breathe. A week later, she stands in front of her brother's grave. Arlington autumn breeze spinning gold leaves. "It's over, Arch," she says. "They tried to use me like they used you. It didn't work this time." Ryerson finds her there, offers a public medal. She refuses. "Some battles aren't fought for medals," she says, and you can tell she means it. But when he asks if she'll accept for what it represents to those coming after her, she thinks, then nods. "Justice isn't always pretty," she says, "but it matters." Months pass. She's back at Naval Special Warfare Command, her story already morphing into legend. She mentors a young woman with the same fire in her eyes, gives her the honest truth. This isn't about being first or proving anything to anyone but yourself. When you want to quit, Anne, you will remember your reason. The past is always there, lurking, but Merrick Thorne? She's not running from it anymore. And just when it feels like life might return to some kind of normal, a secure call comes. Operation Kingfisher isn't finished. There's a new leak, another conspiracy, and this time the rot goes higher, deeper, maybe all the way to the top. She's needed in the field, again hunting her own, fighting not just for herself, but for what the whole thing's supposed to stand for. As she boards the transport, team at her back, mission clear, she knows this isn't the end of her story. Hell, it might just be the beginning. Justice isn't a verdict. It's a fight that never really ends. And sometimes, to win it, you have to walk right into the fire, knowing full well you might walk out alone. So, what do you think? Was Merrick Thorne a hero? Or just a soldier doing her job? Did she break the rules? Or did the rules need breaking? Drop your thoughts below. Let's see where the real debate starts.